Dealing with bad teammates is as much annoying as it is common in Overwatch. What makes a difference is how we handle those situations and try to win despite being in one of those unfavorable circumstances. Since what constitutes as a bad teammate can vary depending on who you ask, I'd like to set a baseline for this video in which we'll talk about 4 types of players in particular. But before we do that, I'd like to strongly encourage you guys to always, and I mean always, look at your own performance first and foremost. Do not ever jump into insults, don't get pissy, and try to stay reasonable whenever you play, as falling into attitude like that doesn't only tilt you, causing you to play worse, but is likely also going to tilt those around you, which diminishes the chances of you winning once again. At the end of the day, we're not going to be able to change random people we play with in a heartbeat, and telling them that they're bad or even insulting them won't make them play any better, and all it ultimately does is making you an asshole. So a lot comes down to making the best out of the situation, and it depends on how we handle bad teammates rather than behaving like a child and throwing the game ourselves. So without further ado, example number 1, the Misinformed. Teammates like that are always frustrating to deal with because they wake this urge in you to want to tell them that they're wrong, at least if you're anything like me and you hate when people speak of things with certainty and a lack of logic. What's important in handling such teammates is not trying to confront them with actual reason. You can tell them the right thing as much as you want, but ultimately all they care about are things they saw in pro tournaments or things they saw on Reddit. If you're trying to tell them that their vision of a perfect meta comp is not gonna work because your team of random solo killers won't be anywhere near as coordinated as a team of professional players who practice together on a daily, then you'll just get angry anyway. The best course of action is, as always, staying calm in the first place and then suggesting something that's either remotely similar to what they proposed or worded in a way that doesn't make them look like they are an idiot. Say they wanted to go for a very specific comp, tell them either that you're very confident on your pick or that you're pretty bad on whatever they proposed. If they doubt your pick, let them know that you'll switch off if it doesn't work. If they want to go for some weird strategy where they want to attack the point from some odd angle, rather than saying it doesn't work, say something like, I don't think we are good enough to pull this off. The moment that you state that their strategy is trash, they'll defend it to death anyway, but if you say that you're simply not good enough for it, they will still feel like the pro player and leader that they always wanted to be. Bottom line is really just to look out for your wording. Don't say anything that could possibly indicate that what they propose is stupid, and you should be good to go. The misplayers. Those guys are generally pretty thick in the head, to put it lightly. Mostly found on DPS heroes, you can also see through their disguise as an overly aggressive Reinhardt, a flanking Roadhog, or a frontline Ana. Sadly, there are a lot of circumstances where you really can't do anything about it. No matter how often you tell them that they should stay with the team and not get picked off, no matter how often you tell them not to waste their ultimates, they just have this just one more and I can be the hero mentality. All they ultimately want to do is carry the team, for better or for worse. If you already figured out that all the callouts in the world don't make them come to their senses, you'll simply have to try and make the best out of it. As an Ana, you can try to support their aggressive playstyle and keep them topped off while hoping that the rest of your team will take advantage of the enemies all focusing this one player and hope to turn it around. As a Lucia, you can try to babysit them a bit. Usually, even they will try to disengage if they take too much damage, in which case you can try to speed boost them back to the team. While Symmetra can provide cover with her flying shield and set up a trap that this player can lead the enemies into, Mercy is really the only support that should not, under any circumstances, try to help a teammate who is constantly overextending. All you do is make yourself a big target in an engagement that is already unfavorable for your side, and if you die, then that's a big issue for your team, especially if you still had a res available. But if you are not a support main, then there are still things you can do. Pharahs can push enemies around when they engage on your teammate, McCree can flashbang enemies that try to go for them, and Reinhardt might be able to get a charge instant kill off while nobody pays attention and escort them back to their team with his shield. For this particular type of player who just won't listen to reason, the only thing you can try and do is work around them. Be aware of the aggressive playstyle and try to find a way to make it work in your favor. The silent professionals. Now this is one that I could easily split into multiple segments for those who actively refuse to join voice chat, those who are silent in both chat and voice comms, and those who complain non-stop in chat but won't join voice chat because they're probably like 12 years old. However, there really isn't much of a right course of action when you ask them to join voice chat and they either don't respond or refuse. But if you have one of those guys in your team that spam chat talking about how bad everyone else is, just tell your team to block them so nobody has to see his bullshit and get tilted unnecessarily. In the case of those who are just silent but not self-proclaimed pro players, it's again a matter of working around them. Sure, it would be awesome to communicate a sick combo with your Zarya, but if they don't join voice, then that's gonna be difficult. One thing you can do besides just waiting and hoping is pinging that your ultimate is ready, hoping that they'll get the hint. The aggravated professionals. Self-proclaimed pro players are always fun to deal with, but my personal favorites are those who either come into a match already being angry, possibly because they just lost a game or something, or get tilted over the smallest thing imaginable, like their penis. While I did come across people who apologized shortly after and went back to normal, it's usually not worth the risk. Chances are high that players like that didn't have anything of value to say anyway, so muting them right off the get-go and suggesting your team to do the same is the best thing you can do. One could say that this will tilt them even more and they'll go for troll picks, but let's be honest, losing one match is one thing, but listening to some retard complain for the entirety of a competitive match might just ruin your evening and have you not want to play anymore afterwards. No matter what, you won't be able to satisfy somebody who is going out of their way to look for things to be angry about and always being in search of something they can point out was a misplay. We all make misplays. Fuck, even pro players do. The best we can do is learn from them and try not to repeat it, but having some angry retard yell at you for 5 minutes because of a single misplay is not gonna help you with that. We're all just trying to play a video game at the end of the day, so why would we want to go out of our way and waste precious time and nerves on dealing with people who are just looking for conflict? Bottom line for all these tips is really just stay calm, try to work around them to make the best out of it, and do your best not to get angry yourself. Whether you're dealing with those who do stupid plays, people who refuse to swap, people who don't join voice chat, or those who just get toxic. I hope that some of those tips helped you guys out in some way. If it did, do feel free to drop me a like on your way out. You can also leave some of your horror stories down in the comment section below and let us know how you handle particularly tricky situations with bad teammates in Overwatch. Maybe we can all learn a thing or two from one another. But this is me done for the day, so thank you everybody so much for watching and I hope to see you guys next time. Wow, that feel when you shoot 3 times and you miss all of them. Are you shitting me right now? Wow, what does it take to fucking kill a Lucio? I think hitting your shots would be one thing you can try to do.